Hey everyone, so this video is about the book, The Story of the Human Body by Daniel Lieberman. If you're interested in the book, there's a link down below. So this book is, just as the title says, it's the story of the human body, and it basically is divided into three sections. The first is kind of the evolution of humans from monkeys. The second thing is how we live right now, or currently, how we kind of live in a quote-unquote evolutionary mismatched society. So basically that means why we are living in a world where our bodies haven't really sort of adapted to. And then the third thing is kind of the reasons or the consequences of living in this world that we haven't really adapted to. And so that's what this whole book is about. It's really divided into those three sections: the history, the fact that we now live in a country or in a world where we aren't really evolved to live in, and the third is the consequences of that. So this book is just a wealth of knowledge. It's really comprehensive. It looks at so many great points and so many things about human evolution, just where we came from. And yeah, there's just so many great points to this book, but I'm going to talk about my three favorite things or favorite parts from this book. So my number one favorite point from this book, or not so much point, but the number one thing that he talks about is just how we're very different from monkeys. So in this book, now I don't really want to go too in depth on the things that he talks about, but he just talks about how we're very different from monkeys, how we've evolved differently from them, and just our body structure, our brain, just so many things with our body that makes us human compared to monkeys. And even though they are our ancestors, or we kind of evolved from monkeys, we're very different in a lot of ways. Even though we share a really good high portion of our genetic makeup, or our DNA is related to monkeys, but nonetheless, we are still very, very, very different from them. And this book talks about that. So for myself personally, I found that very fascinating. Now, the second thing that I found enjoyable, or that I really liked about this book, is just how we evolved for specific things, but because we evolved for kind of a world from like thousands of years ago, we now live in a world where it's mismatched because of technology. So some of the things that we aren't really meant for are, example, sitting for prolonged periods of times. The second thing is shoes. We weren't really adapted to wear shoes. Another thing is, just being comfortable, right? So most of the time, we're supposed to be active, we're supposed to be moving, we're supposed to be doing a lot of things. Another thing is just the food that we eat right now. A lot of it's just very processed. A lot of it is very sugary without much fiber. And this book just talks a lot about that. And, I can't really go in depth on specifically on what he says, because there's just so much that he talks about. And so yeah, I don't really want to ruin it for yourself if you do plan on reading this book. So that's point number two. So the third thing that I found very interesting is just the fact that we are getting all of these diseases because we are living in this world that we're not really meant to be kind of like living in. So, with lack of exercise or movement, or a poor choice of diet, that's what's actually causing all of these problems. And it's very interesting, because if we're living the way that we're supposed to be living, then we wouldn't have all of these associated problems, or health problems. And one of the things that this book said is that in the future generations, we might actually see a dip in the age at which people live until. So it's always been the case where adults, or we've been living up until, example, 90, but that's starting to maybe dip downwards because of the evolutionary mismatches. And so lack of exercise, poor diet, so on and so forth, is causing this to causing our lifespan to decrease. So who is this book for? Now, I would say that if you are someone who, number one, believes in evolution and that we came from monkeys and so on and so forth, then yeah, I would say that this book is for you. Number two, if you are interested in the evolution of humans, or if you're just interested in the history of mankind or humans, then yes, that would be the second group. The third is if you are someone who is interested in learning about how we are living in a world that we're not meant to be living in, or not meant to be living in, but how we're living in a world that we haven't adapted to, then yeah, check out that. Or number four, if you are someone who is just interested in learning about the diseases that we're all getting because of this. So yeah, just if you're in one of those 3 or 4 groups, then definitely check out this book. Now, in terms of my rating, I would definitely give this book a 4.5 out of 5. I would say that this book is meant for everyone. I think everyone should read this book if you are someone who believes in evolution. Now, personally, for myself, I believe in it. Now, I know there's going to be some people out there who say, no, we come from God, or God created us, and so on and so forth. And if that's what you believe in, then maybe this book might not be for you, because it might, I guess, conflict with the beliefs that you have, or so on and so forth. But yeah, for myself, I believe in evolution, and I enjoyed this book. Definitely would highly recommend it to anyone and everyone. Alright, well, thank you for watching, and if you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like this video, then give me a thumbs down. Leave a comment below on what you liked or what you didn't like about this video, and that way I can make it better, or even better for you. And yeah, if you are interested in receiving notifications of my future videos, then hit that subscribe button down below. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you again in the next video. Bye for now.